Want a picture of you guys?
On arrival to the Belvedere Hotel, we got a lousy free coffee and a room without air conditioning. Shortly thereafter, we took off to explore the city on our own. O'Connell Street is the main street in Dublin. It looks a bit old, but it's well maintained and it really is beautiful. Here we arrive at the Liffey River and we start waiting for the next boat ride. We are still waiting with another couple from our group, which actually decided to join us. Finally on the boat, we are taking a cruise on the Liffey River. I must tell you that there was a very nice lady on the boat, explaining and naming every building and the history behind it. But unfortunately, the sound quality and her accent was so bad, I had to take it off. In any case, we enjoyed the view, the trip, the ride, and I even enjoyed the way this lady looked. Back in the hotel for an afternoon nap.
Road level. But if you look across there beyond the trees on the right, you can see the dome of the Rotunda Maternity Hospital. That's over the chapel. Now the Rotunda is the oldest lying-in maternity hospital in Europe. It's over 250 years old. It was opened by an obstetrician called Dr. Bartholomew Moss. Now you can see this beautiful spire ahead of us. Well, if you're from Dublin, you wouldn't think it's beautiful, but I tell you, it's our Millennium Monument. It's 140 metres high, and there was a competition for a street monument, and this is what won. Now, we wouldn't like to see what lost. And this was designed by a man called Ian Ritchie, and I hope I've none of his relatives on board. Theobald Matthew, he's the man, the temperance priest, who tried to stop Irish people drinking. That's why he has a small statue. Just another one item of Joyceana. If you look to your left here into the street, you can see a statue of James Joyce standing, leaning on his cane, just barely into the street on the left there, beyond the flowers. Anybody spot him? Yeah. Now Dublin's probably the most important. We have Abbey Street, both right and left here. And that tram going by there is called the Luas, L-U-A-S. And that is the Gaelic word for speed. And that's a sign here, this building, which appears to have no windows. They're all in the roof. And we're making a right here. That building was originally built as our Parliament in 1729. And the Parliament lasted from 1729 until the year 1800. In 1822, and it also meant that all of the Georgian houses which they had occupied, because these were the, if you like, the landed gentry, the Georgian house there. And Jonathan Swift said It typifies British justice in Ireland. She's blindfolded with her back to the people. So that's the Dublin Castle.
Here we got off the bus to visit the St. Patrick Cathedral. They claim that this is the most beautiful cathedral in Dublin. Not much by comparison to Mohammed V's mosque in Casablanca, Morocco. Nevertheless, we enjoyed the visit and it was really quite beautiful. We finally got off the bus at the famous Trinity College and spent the rest of the afternoon walking around and touring the city again on our own. The buildings at the Trinity College are beautiful and look much like the rest of the city. Here we are on our way, walking of course, to see the Femen Memorial, which was actually very, very interesting, as you can see.
And again, folks, in all the little towns and villages around the country, notice the flowers, because many of these towns take part in a competition called the Tidy Town Competitions, where local volunteers in the community plant flowers, paint houses, make sure that the streets are free from any litter, and they don't really enter it for financial reasons. There is a reward if your town happens to become is voted Ireland's tidiest town or village, but they mainly do it for a sense of pride. Again, the tourist office coming up on the left, right, opposite the Tower House, which is now the hotel. If you want to get extra information, if you want to get maps, if you want to get postcards, if you want to buy stamps to send back to the States to let them know you're alive and that you have arrived, you can buy them all in the tourist office. It takes roughly about 9 days to send a postcard back to the States.
Not clear exactly why we stopped here, but I took some pictures anyway. Miriam took some time to rest from the bus ride. The scenery around the Rock of Cashel Cathedral was absolutely beautiful. Attached to the railway station is the Cobb Heritage Centre Museum. It provides information on life in Ireland through the 18th and 19th centuries. Miriam is not a museum person. She used the time to rest inside and outside.
So again, we have to make our way back the same way. And once again, looking over at Spike Island, our Navy ship and the headquarters, as I said, for the Irish Navy. And here on the left-hand side, you see the motorhomes. Camping is very popular too in Ireland, and they can park here for the night and walk in towards the town of Cobh.
Arriving to our hotel for the night and actually getting another lousy room, but at least the views from the windows were actually quite nice.
I was dreaming of old Ireland and Killarney's lakes and fells. I was dreaming of the Shamrock and the dear old Shannon.
Visiting the Blarney Castle was quite an experience. Everything was magnificent and interesting. This included the castle itself and the gardens around it.
That would happen if we had
climbing the tower on the spiral stairs was another experience. The view from the top was breathtaking. And no, I did not kiss the Blarney Stone. I was afraid of contagious diseases.
Joined the Brisbane water, and Killarney's lakes flowed into Botany Bay. If the Shandon bells
Shopping, 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 and more shopping. Some free entertainment for the shoppers.
I was dreaming of old Ireland and Killarney.
Unfortunately, we were not allowed to take any pictures
I
inside.
was dreaming of the Shamrock and the dear old Shandon bells, when my memory suggested in a vision. I wish I was in Carrickfergus only for nights in Ballygrand. I would swim over the deepest ocean only for nights in Ballygrand. But the waters
over at Inch Beach, and it's one of the longest in Europe. On the right hand side is the small little harbour of town here in Ireland. It used to be farming in the town of Cahersageen. Look at this garden here on the right hand side, a bit of everything going on there to restore it, and you can see now today that it's quite beautiful as well. The train from Killarney used to connect people to this town, Cahersageen, but when the train closed in '62, the town kind of
My childhood days bring back sweet reflections of happy hours I spent so long ago.
We stopped here for ice cream, and Miriam enjoyed it.
And my own relation.
This was an experience like never before. Two tourist buses trying to pass each other on a narrow road in the hills.
The glasses. Oh, she looks ticked. She's really pissed off. She's like, what are we doing?
An endless roving.
This was the second most important reason we came to see Ireland. The most important reason is still coming up. Unfortunately, the weather was lousy, so I took lousy pictures.
That's why the rooms are €29. Just to highlight the matchmaking festival, and you'll also see statues of Catholic Church on the left-hand side as well. And from here now, after we leave the little village of Lisdoonfarna, we cross into the Burren. And the Burren is a stony, lunar landscape, and you'll see the limestone paintings.
This is the hotel we stayed in Galway.
Michael.
Now this is Eamon, and Eamon here at the moment is working on some hanging ornament. So they simply make the U-shaped trim by getting clay, cutting it to a certain length, and then using this U-shaped template, pressing it against the cut clay to create the U-shape you see around the edge of the basket. The people in this department work on various things.
Of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry, by a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crown, I rebelled, they cut me down. Now you must raise our child with dignity. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry.
How sweet 'tis to roam by the sunny sure stream, and hear the birds coo neath the morning sunbeam, where the thrush and the robin.
The soccer team, there's two. There's the Republic of Ireland and there's Northern Ireland. But rugby, they all stay under the one for Ireland. But we rejoin the coast when we get as far as Ballycastle.
Gently along, by your waters so clear, sounds the lark's merry song. On your green banks I wander, where first I did join with you, lovely Molly, the rose of Moonkind.
There's the little area known as Dunservig, and you see the ruins of an old castle coming up on the
On
right.
the hills of our dear Irish home, where the fisherman sports with his small boat and line, by the banks of the Sheer that flows down by Moonkind. Flow on, lovely river, flow gently along, by your waters so clear, sounds the lark's merry song. On your green banks I'll wander, where first I did join with you, lovely Molly, the rose of Moonkind. Oh Molly, dear Molly, it breaks my fond heart to know that we two forever must part. But I'll think of you, Molly, when the sun and moon shine on the banks of the Sheer that flows down to Moonkind. Flow on, lovely river, flow gently along, by your waters so clear, sounds the lark's merry song. On your green banks I'll wander, where first I did join with you, lovely Molly.
Well, finally, this is the main reason I came to visit Ireland. I hope you find it absolutely beautiful and watch all the slides and video I took here.
Sounds the lark's merry song. On your green banks I'll wander, where first I did join with you, lovely Molly. The rose
Definitely breathtaking.
sweet is to roam by the sunny sure stream and hear the birds coo.
Very difficult actually to walk around here, especially with the shoes I was wearing.
Their sweet notes entwine on the banks of the Suir that flows down by Moonkind. Flow on, lovely river, flow gently along, by your waters so clear sounds the lark's merry song. On your green banks I wander, where first I did join with you, lovely Molly, the rose of Moonkind. She sailed far away o'er the dark rolling foam, far away from the hills of her dear Irish home, where the fishermen.
That it's Sunday morning, everybody's in bed, and it's nice and quiet, and it's a great time to take a city tour of Belfast because
the Belfast River used to run up, and still does, under the road. St George's Church on the left there, on the site of a very old church, 1816. That one was built very much flamboyant clergy. They were the first to introduce a midnight Eucharist and a harvest service in Ireland. Who invented milk magnesia? We have lots of inventors here in the city, and as we go around I'll point out where they all lived. The one coming up beside the green painted building on the right is the Belfast Newsletter, the oldest English language paper in the world, 1775, and it was the first to publish the Declaration of Independence in 1776, although it was published in. Look up now, you'll see the stainless steel spire of St Anne's Church of Ireland Cathedral. It was erected a few years ago. The cathedral itself is built of stone from all 32 counties in Ireland. We have two iconic buildings here on either side of the road. One of them is Crumlin Road Jail on the right, and on the left is the courthouse. Both were designed by Sir Charles Lanyon, 6 for a breach of the peace. About that. But Catholics and Protestants then started, attacking each other's homes. I used to leave the bar on New Year's Eve at 11:45, walk down to the Albert Clock here, and if they had a bottle in their hand or a glass, they would smash it against the base of the clock to bring them good luck in the new year. Personally, I think it was a waste of good drink. served as a tender ship after that. Also served during World War I and II, but eventually ended up as a floating restaurant in the Seine near the Eiffel Tower. It was bought back by the government some years ago, and
was the largest amount of troops on a battle site in history. So this is the Boyne Cable Bridge, and it was renamed only about 2 months ago the Mary McAleese Bridge. Now Mary McAleese was a former president of Ireland, and she served for
in Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes.
Now we'll get shortly on the city tourist bus.
It's called Temple Bar, crammed with all kinds of attractions. Hotels, hostels, art galleries, music centres. They even got the photographic archive centre in here. Many pubs and restaurants too. Very popular by day, but even more popular by night.
Frying cockles and mussels.
If you look to your right hand side, you can see banners outside the Synod Hall with the words Dublinia written on them. And that tells you about an exhibition that's on there that might be worth a visit. Over on your right hand side here is a park known as St. Patrick's Park, a very old Christian site. Look to your left here and you'll see one of the few remaining fragments of the city walls. This area is called the Corn Market. As the name suggests, in medieval times, this is where corn was traded and exported to various parts of Europe. We're now going into Thomas Street. This is the route of one of the old ways, and the next person we are going to meet on our travels is a man called Arthur Guinness, a man who has made a significant contribution to Dublin life. Arthur Guinness started a brewery here in 1759. Just along here on the left, you will see the townhouse of Arthur Guinness, where he lived with his wife and 21 children. Just beside his townhouse are the original gates into the city. Do you see the date it all started off? 1759. When Arthur Guinness bought this area in 1759, he took out a 9,000-year lease. He paid £100 for it, and an annual rent of £45 a year. What a bargain. Start our journey here on the Chesterfield is the second tallest obelisk in the world, the tallest one being in Washington. This monument is dedicated to the memory of the Duke of Wellington, an Irishman who was Prime Minister of England. The great achievement of the Duke of Wellington was the defeating of Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Rounds of ours note their own. People like John F. Kennedy, Eamon de Valera, one of the presidents of Ireland, Juan Carlos, King of Spain.
My eyes on sweet Molly Malone, as she wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets wide and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive.
And this is where this video ends.
Crying cockles.